Alright, hello my friends, I am back. I hope you are all doing well. Today I have for you Wildfrost, which is a deck-building card game in the style of Slay the Spire or Monster Train. It has a certain amount of lane positioning and tactical movement as well, but we'll get more into that as we get into the game. This game crossed my radar recently because it had mostly negative Steam reviews, and all of the Steam reviews were saying that the game was too hard, that they couldn't beat the boss, they couldn't beat the very first tutorial fight in the game, and needless to say, that piqued my interest, because when told that a game is too hard, I'm going to want to try it. So we're going to just dive right in. I'm going in mostly blind. I've played the very first fight just to make sure that everything was working tech-wise, but other than that, I have no idea what to expect, and we'll see if we can prove that the game is not too difficult, or if the haters were right. So let's go. Very first thing we're going to do is choose a leader, and we have a choice between Ausno, Jasno, and Olif. So when diving into a brand new game like this, I think it's important to try to minimize the amount of complexity that you have to experience with the individual cards so that you can learn the game's systems overall. So we're going to be going with Ausno. I'm not even really going to look at these other two, although I'll notice that we have a gain 2 block on damage, so there's a block effect, and a hit all targets in the row effect exists in the game, but we're going to be picking the one with the least text to start with. We have 10 health, 5 attack, and this, I believe, is our attack counter, so when it reaches 0, our attack goes off, but otherwise we won't do anything on a given turn. That just lets us rename the character. Let's go. This journal belongs to Ausno. Here we are at Snow Dwell. Let's take a look at our deck. So we have Ausno, we have Foxy, who I'm guessing is another unit that we can place on the board, who has Frenzy and 1 attack and 4 health, so we'll deal 3 damage. I'm going to be looking out for ways to increase this 1 attack to make use of the Frenzy, and any attack increases we get for Foxy will be 3 times as effective. We also have a pretty standard health potion. Snow. Freezes, counters, and reactions, deals 1 damage, and freezes a unit for 2 turns, which will stop this counter from ticking down, and 2 damage on these scrappy swords. These are just 2 damage strikes per Slay the Spire or whatever. Alright. To start each battle, drag your leader from your hand onto the battlefield. I can do that. Apparently I couldn't do that. So one thing I'm noticing is that I tried to drag the leader to the back tile, but it got snapped to the furthest forward, so it looks like as you place units, they appear from front to back. Foxy is one of your companion cards. Get him on the battlefield too. Use my scrappy sword to take out that Pengoon. Okay, so the opponents have 2 health, 1 attack, and 1 out of 2 counter, 2 triggering multiple times, and deals 3 damage. Well, we can definitely use a sword to kill the Pengoon. One thing I'm noticing as well is that playing a single card ends my turn. I don't know if that will always be true, but what that says to me is that one of the systems in this game is very high value, less frequent decision points, which is probably one of the reasons why people were finding it so difficult, is if you only get to play 1 card per turn, which card you play matters a ton. And games that have that sort of lower decision density but higher decision impact are often much less forgiving than games that have more frequent but lower impact decisions. Waddlegoons is going to attack me 3 times, so we're taking 3 damage on Ausno. Name will be very appropriate. And Foxy will attack them back. Alright, so let's freeze the Waddlegoons so that we don't take that damage this turn. Hit them for 3. Enemies always attack first. Okay, good to know. 3 enemies arriving in 1 turn. Alright, so enemies do seem to appear in waves. We have no way to prevent ourselves from taking 3 damage this turn, which we will take before striking back because the enemies attack first. I'm not seeing any way to just pass the turn and leave ourselves with 2 swords in hand, so I think we will be forced to play 1, and which will leave us with 1 less card than if we could pass and simply not play a card this turn. Because, of course, our leader is going to deal enough damage to clear this Waddle Goons out. Anyways, this card was wasted. Alright, we've got another Pengoon. We've seen one of them before. A Chungoon, who has 6 health and gains attack whenever hit. And a Wild Snoof, who applies to freeze whenever hit. Okay. You're almost out of cards. Get a new hand by hitting the redraw bell. Alright. Discard your hand and draw 6 new cards. And not charge this action will end my turn. So I'm guessing this counter ticks down, and when it reaches 0, I can redraw without taking a turn to do it. Foxy's going to clear this Pengoon anyways, so I think I might actually pass this turn, or not redraw this turn. We're going to make maximum use of our resources and hit this Snoof. And then when we redraw, we'll draw another 2 damage card and can finish off the Snoof. Although allowing Foxy to hit that guy does mean that he's returning 2 damage. You can use the redraw bell at any time to discard your hand and draw 6 new cards. Hitting the redraw bell will end your turn unless the bell is charged. Okay, so it works exactly like we thought it would. Currently we're taking 1 damage from the Snoof and 2 damage from the Chungoon. I think I would rather use a freeze here to prevent the additional damage and allow Ow Snow to become frozen. We can do this. The Snoof is not attacking yet, but Foxy is going to almost clear out the Chungoon. Let's take a turn off and heal my leader. I'm not certain if my leader will regain all of her health at the end of the battle, or if we need to be trying to heal up during fights. Currently, we have 1 turn to clear this, and then we'll have to clear this the next turn, so let's clear that. The Snow Knight has appeared. Alright, we've got the Snow Knight and we've got Grouchy. So Snow Knight is whenever anything is frozen, gain 1 attack. Grouchy ticks down has a 4 counter and hits for 2, but while damaged, attack is increased by 2. So hopefully we don't injure Grouchy. Let's clear this Snoof so we don't take damage. One thing that I'm not 100% certain of is whether this Snow Knight, whether defeating the Snow Knight will end the battle, or whether we will then need to clear Grouchy afterwards. Notice that we have a free redraw, but we're not going to use it yet because I don't want the Snow Knight to attack. I'm buffing his attack here, but it won't matter because he's going to die next turn. And I'm going to be maximizing my resource while saving this free redraw. If we do need to kill Grouchy, we have a very good chance of drawing some sort of freeze effect to stop Grouchy's next attack from going off. Looked like we didn't need to, though. Yeah. Alright. First battle down. Take that, Steam Reviewer. We get a journal page. Okay. I assume later on we'll get Slay the Spire style maps where we get to choose between these nodes, but for the tutorial it's just sending us down a line. The Wildfrost. As the snow began to fall and the temperature dropped, we knew it was a storm like no other. As the months went on, the snow lingered and the cold grew harsher. There was no escaping the Wildfrost, as it spread like a wildfire of snow and ice. Many believed the storm had an unnatural source. Brave adventurers set out into the wilderness, determined to put an end to the storm. I, too, decided to take on the challenge, but like those who came before me, I was unable to penetrate the heart of the storm. If anyone's reading this, use the knowledge within these pages to go forth and bring the sun back to our world. Together we can restore warmth and light to this frozen land. Alright, we've got a noble quest. Let me just quickly check. Okay, looks like we're at 10 out of 10. So, healing... I'm still not 100% sure if healing during the battle mattered. Frozen travelers, break the ice. Okay. Alright, we've freed a new companion from the ice. Can right-click any card to inspect it. Looks like this just gives us slightly longer descriptions, but we already know those. So we've got a choice between Wallop and Big Berry. 10, 5, both at 4 cooldown. On kill, restore 2 to self and allies in the row. Deal 8 additional damage to frozen targets. Alright, I think that even though we do have 2 ways to apply freeze, and that's a nice looking combo from Wallop, I think we're going to go with Big Berry, mostly because I really like the art, but also because I think it will be sort of simpler to learn the game mechanics with just a big tank and not have to worry about lining up the timings. Hello, I'm Big Berry. I'll gladly join your team. Let's go. Alright, we get some treasure. Okay, looks like treasure is cards. We get to choose between a Snow Cake, which has Consume, so can only be used once per battle. Very common effect, and does 0 attack but applies 12 frozen. Sunrod reduces countdowns by 2, let our guys attack more often, and Hongo's Hammer deals 1, applies 3 Shroom, which is Slay the Spire style poison, it looks like. Between these 3, I suspect that this is going to be an incredibly potent effect, applying 12 freezing. So that'll let us just simply lock down and ignore an enemy. This will deal a total of 7 damage over 3 turns. I'm not certain if the poison ticks at the beginning or end of the turn, so that's something that I might actually just pick the poison to learn. Yeah, let's do that. I think probably the snow effect is a more powerful effect, but I do want to learn if poison ticks at the start or end of the turn. That'll be very important to know for poison decks, actually. We can right-click that. Doesn't tell us. Okay. Let's go battle some penguins. Alright, we've got a Chungoon, who when hit gains an attack. A Porcupine, who has Barrage, hitting all targets in the row. And Uba Bear, when hit, apply 2 to the attacker. We also now have 2 lanes that we can choose between where to place our cards. I wonder if we'll be at 2 permanently, or if we go up to 3 or something later in the game. We'll find that out as well. Alright, so Ousno, I think we want opposite this Uba Bear. And then we'll have Big Berry tank the top half. You can also inspect cards during battles. Right-click the Chungoon to inspect it. And, okay, it just gives us all of the detailed effects. We have 5 turns before enemies arrive. Let's place Big Berry up here. Right now I need to deal some damage to each of these for my units to clear them. We are currently taking 3 on Big Berry and 4 on Ousno. So I do want to do something to prevent ourselves from tanking all of the damage on our boss. I could either plan to heal on a given turn, or I could redraw now, looking for a freezing effect, and use that to disrupt Uba Bear next turn. I think we are going to plan to use a heal and just play this attack. We're going to be taking 4, but we can heal that back up. We'll be taking 3 here, but that's okay. I would like to apply 2 damage to... Okay, well, the tutorial's telling us, actually, that we have to move Big Berry. Drag Big Berry in front of your leader to protect them from the attack. Okay, well, we can do that. Moving your cards does not take a turn, so you can still play a card. Okay, so that's actually very good to know, that we can drag our units around with for free. Can I do this just like over and over? Maybe not during the tutorial. I'll try that once we're out of that. I'm also going to hit this Porcupine for 2. Big Berry is going to take 4, but will heal back up to 7 this turn. Porcupine is going to hit everybody. So we're taking 2 damage, but then Berry will heal that 2 damage back up. So let's actually use our heal on Big Berry here, who will be taking 2 damage this turn and then healing for 2. Currently, Porcupine. Try to moving Big Berry to the other row so the Porcupine will only hit them. Okay, well, I didn't want to do that, but I guess we have to. So we'll move Big Berry over here, and then I'm going to play this Scrappy Sword so that Big Berry gets to heal. I can recall my companions to heal them. Drag Big Berry to my discard pocket. Never recall my leader, okay? Recalling cards is also a free action. Okay, good to know. We also now have a free discard. Still learning the game. Of course, the tutorial wants us to do different things, so my strategic plans are getting thrown off a little, but let's attack this, and then we'll redraw looking for a sword. My leader has been hurt, or has been frozen, because it hit that Uba Bear. So we are likely to take a decent amount of damage next turn. This turn, we could either clear one of these 2-health penguins to prevent 1 damage, or we could get out Foxy, or play this Hongo's Hammer to clear the Snowbow. We can do that next turn if we want to. I think let's get Foxy out on the table to start taking down this cooldown as quickly as possible. Now we have a choice between killing one of these or freezing something. Let's just clear Penguin. We'll clear the one at the back because that's the one we have least control over, which we're hitting. Get hit for 1 on each of our units, which is fine. Now we definitely have to stop this Porcupine before it attacks. So this is where I don't know if the Hammer is going to poison the Porcupine at the beginning of its turn or at the end of its turn. Let's try it and just see what happens. Alright, so it does get to attack. And then we actually wasted the poison there. So poison ticks at the beginning of the next turn, which is good to know, although it did cost us 2 health to find that out. We can freeze the Snowbow. Tick everything down a little bit. I'm going to spend a turn redrawing, and then I'm going to play Big Berry, I think, because we really want to get Big Berry out so that his counter can start ticking. Alright, we've got Big Peng, who gains 1 attack when an ally is killed. Currently, we are in danger of losing Foxy to Big Peng, so we've got to freeze this Snowbow. Or losing Foxy to the Snowbow because it's aimless and hits a target and it hits a random target in the row. We are now going to be attacking this, which is good because we attack it before it goes, although bad because we're wasting 3 of that damage. So I have a choice between tanking 1 damage here, or clearing this to deal 3 extra damage to the boss. Currently, if we choose to not tank a damage and deal 3 extra to the boss, we can then play another sword on the boss, and then Big Berry will hit for 5, finishing the boss. So I think that is going to be better. We take 1 here. Our guy hits for 5, and now we are targeting this for 5, so we can simply kill the Penguin, and then Big Berry will hit and heal our guys for 2. This also gives us useful information, because we'll see if our leader healed to full after the round, and if Foxy healed to full after the round, or if we need to be worrying about gaining health during the round and stalling fights to heal. Let's take a look at our deck and see what happened there. Alright, looks like we do heal to full in between rounds, so that's great. We don't need to worry about stalling out the fights to heal. Let's go grab a journal page. Many years ago, before the eternal winter, there was a mighty spirit in the sky known as the sun. The sun was the essence of all life, its radiant light providing warmth and nourishment to all living things. The golden light did not last forever. A terrible storm descended upon the land, engulfing the sun and leaving a lifeless cube of ice in the sky. Now all that remains is a faint, empty light that offers no comfort or warmth. Me too. Now we get to choose between two possible paths, which is really good for us. So we have a choice between a bling snail cave or a frozen traveler, a charm, and a treasure. So we could get another companion and another card, but I don't know what either of these nodes do, so let's take that path and see what we get. Oh, I have to click this one first. Right. Alright, Woodhead is a clunker card. Clunkers are items that you can place in battles to aid your companions. Does nothing, but it will take a hit for me. Alright, so Scrap is a different kind of health which reduces by 1 when any damage is taken. Okay, so enemies and allies with Scrap count all damage as 1. Flame Water increases attack damage by 1, which is very good with Foxy, because Foxy attacks 3 times. We talked about that earlier, that we want to look for ways to increase that attack. And the Shell blocks damage, so applying for 4 Shell to something. I think we're going to go with the Flame Water here, because it combos with one of our existing cards. Try to buff Foxy up so that Foxy hits for 6 every turn instead of 3. Let's find out what a Bling Snail Cave is. A Bling Snail Cave appears to just give us money. Let's go to a charm. So is this an artifact that we get, or some kind of other global effect? I'm guessing this is a run artifact. Alright, we got the Snowball Charm. Apply 1. Frozen. We can equip or save for later. I'm not sure what that means, actually. Let's equip now and see what happens. Oh, okay. I can modify a card. So if we were to place this on Foxy, they would apply Snow 3 times. So let's do that. Foxy rapidly becoming our carry. Once equipped, charms can't be moved. So I'm guessing that how this works is each of these attacks will now deal 1 and apply 1 snow. Seems pretty good. That's cool that you can modify cards like that. It's sort of like Slay the Spire's upgrade system. Let's fight the boss, Bamboozle, who does 3 damage hitting all enemies. So one thing when just kind of looking at this boss fight, just looking at the boss for now, we probably want to avoid playing out Foxy until after this attack has gone off. Snowbow, we've seen before, does a random target in a row. The Winter Worm has 8 attack, yikes. When hit, reduce attack by 1. So we want to try to get multiple attacks on that, but we have no way of getting Foxy to hit it because the boss is blocking. Boss also has resist snow, can only have a maximum of 1 snow. Okay. Well, let's take the lower lane here. Normally a good idea to get your companions on the battlefield as soon as possible. Seems good to me. Good advice, tutorial. Let's get Big Berry out there. Watch out for Snowbow. They're aimless, which means their attack will hit a random target in the row. Yeah, we know. So I could try to freeze the boss. I could try to start whittling away at the Winter Worm's attacks, maybe by hitting it with some freezing effect. I don't care about the Snowbow. I'm just going to ignore that. Let's go with freezing the Winter Worm, stop it from attacking, and also reduce its attack for whenever it does attack. I'm trying to decide at this point between delaying this guy's attack by 1 and delaying the Winter Worm's attack by 2 while also reducing it. We also do want to start dealing some damage to the boss. One thing we should keep in mind is that while the last boss fight ended, this could be a 2-stage fight. They sometimes do that, but we'll find out. I think I'm going to freeze the Winter Worm, getting it to not attack for quite some time while continuing to whittle away at its attack. Seems pretty good to me. Here, I'm going to just keep hitting it, I think. We'll take 1 here. Big Berry will deal 5 back, then we're dealing 5 as well. We are taking 3 on everyone, so I could play Pinkberry Juice. I could also just redraw. We are guaranteed these, and getting the poison out early and getting Foxy on the table seems pretty good. I don't want to play Foxy this turn, though, because Foxy will get hit by Bamboozle. So let's redraw anyways, and then I'm going to play this poison. I could either hit the Winter Worm, which would kill it over 3 turns and prevent it from ever attacking, or start DPSing the boss, but let's do this, because I'm afraid of this guy just attacking. Currently, we have 5 health on Big Berry. I don't mind if Foxy takes 1 aimless hit, so let's play Foxy out. Sub-goal for this round, of course, is going to be to get Big Berry to land the killing blow on the boss to get value from that restore. Thing died to poison, which is nice. We're taking 2 damage, which isn't too dangerous. If I hit the boss twice, then Big Berry will get the killing blow. I could also spend that, decide not to heal for 4, and play the Flame Water on Foxy, which could also be very important to have buffed later. I think at this point I do want Big Berry to get the killing blow because we're kind of spreading damage out from these aimless units. We could, if they both hit Foxy, heal up to 6, which is a ton of value, so let's spend the next 2 turns hitting Bamboozle, which will allow Big Berry to land the killing blow this turn. Yeah, no reason to deviate from that plan at this point. Didn't take any hits on... I was right, it was a multi-stage boss fight. Luckily, Foxy triple froze the Boozle, but it didn't count as a killing blow for Big Berry, so that is unfortunate for us. At this point, it is probably... Okay, let's take a look. So this guy only has a maximum of 1 frozen, same thing we saw. 6 turn cooldown and 6 damage and wild. Getting 1 wild when other wild cards are killed. This guy applies 1 snow and is also wild. So ideally we want to kill these both at about the same time. Definitely feeling some pressure here. I could guarantee taking a hit on Foxy by moving Foxy up, but I do like having Foxy locking down Boozle. With 3 freeze and a 3-turn cooldown, that means this guy will never attack. So we're only getting DPS by the Snowbows in this lane. I think at this point I'm in a little bit of trouble if these guys hit my boss too many times, my leader too many times, so we're just gonna do a safety heal here. We will be doing 5, and I would rather deal 5 to Bam, so let's shift our leader. Have a 50% chance of tanking on each of these. I also am going to play the Flame Water on Foxy. We want to try to evenly damage these 2 units. We're currently taking 1 aimless attack on each, so that'll send our leader down to 6, and they also have a Grouchy who will be hitting for 4. Still not in danger of losing either unit, so I don't think I need to discard, although I could send Big Berry back for a heal, but would not be guaranteed to redraw him. In fact, would be quite unlikely to. So let's trigger a reshuffle first and start the free reshuffle ticking back down. Oh, interesting. So this would let me get up to 9 damage a turn on Foxy, which might actually be too fast. If we kill this guy too early, this one will multi-attack, although I can stall it for a couple turns. What if I do that, deal 9 to this, and then move Foxy next round to the other lane? Take 1 there, and 1 on Big Berry. Still not in danger of losing a unit here. Big Berry is going to kill Boozle, so let's swap and heal for 2. So I could swap something in to receive a heal, like I could swap my leader in to receive a 2 heal, and then move Foxy next round. Can I move multiple units per round? Like, if I move my leader here, can I then move back? Can I move Foxy? So yeah, so let's swap everything in to get the 2 heals on everything. In the meantime, I just want to start damaging and stalling Bam, because all we're trying to do is get Foxy to attack Bam before Bam goes off. So let's do a freeze. It only freezes for 1, but that's okay. Big Berry heals everybody for 2, so we're again not in danger of losing any units here. I do want to shift Foxy up to the top lane before Foxy's next attack. So let's tank 1 damage on Foxy. And we don't need to freeze Bam because we're now attacking sooner, so let's save the freeze and just do a sword. Currently taking 2 on Foxy, but Foxy will be killing Bam. Taking 1 randomly here, so let's freeze Grouchy. It will cause Grouchy to have higher damage next round, but we can tank 4 damage by moving our leader. Also, next round I'll have a redraw, so I can maybe redraw into another freezing effect. Oh right, the Grouchy doesn't have the freeze resistance and is frozen for 2 rounds. Oh, also, clearing both bosses ended the battle. We could have stalled that out for quite a bit more time, so now we get to choose a reward. We get card draw +1, companion limit +1. I don't know what our current companion limit is. Doesn't actually say anywhere. Combat log. That's actually really good to know about. I'm really glad there's a combat log. Redraw bell counter -1, companion limit +1, card draw +1. Card draw is very powerful, but in this game, I believe the redraw bell counter is going to be more valuable, because the counter's on 4 and draws you 6 cards, so reducing that to 3 basically gives you an extra 1.5 cards per turn, rather than this one giving you 1 more card. Yes, because reducing 4 to 3 is a 25% increase of 6. Sunbell of Fellowship. I'm not certain how valuable the companion limit is, but I really like the redraw mechanic, so we're going to be going with that. Victory. Continue! We are now entering the Ice Caves. Alright. Well, with that region finished, and our first artifact acquired, having gotten this Sunbell of the Bell, I think now is a good time to make the cut. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video, and we will be back next time with more Wildfrost. I have been enjoying this game so far, and it does look quite complicated, but I think we can handle it. As always, feel free to leave a comment, rate the video, drop a thumbs up, and subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying it, and I will see you next time with more Wildfrost and other games as well. Cheers, folks. GG.